Hi, you guys. I am Miss Biscuit and I am a one woman show. So give us like a few moments just so we can tag everyone and make sure everyone know that we are live. So give us one moment. Okay, so I am back. We have viewers, and I am happy to see you guys today on this Wednesday afternoon. Okay, so the reason for the delay is because not everybody is in Chicago. Okay, so my beautiful guest is on this panel today to ask me some questions as well as I ask her some questions so that the world can know about these podcast women. I'm going to let my co-host introduce herself and tell us where she is because it was a change in timing because not everybody's in Chicago. Okay, so go ahead, sweetie. Introduce yourself and let everyone know where they can find you, where they can listen to you at, and what's going on with you.
Hey everybody, I'm your favorite up and coming podcast host, Marikai Dene. You can find me at all platforms. Yes, I'm out there. Entitled Adulting the Millennial Way. Again, that's on Spotify, Google, Apple. And basically, it's a podcast that's steered towards millennials trying to reach platforms of success. We talk about mental health. Again, we talk about millennials building success. Sometimes I just have fun story times talking about my crazy life in Las Vegas. That's where I live. So you can only imagine how crazy it gets. Yeah, it's definitely something to tune into. So yeah.
Okay. Well, great. I mean, I know that I love going back to Vegas all the time, so I'm pretty sure it's lit there. And I've listened to your podcast, and I'm intrigued about everything that you do. Your voice can is catchy. It's easy to listen to, so that's a great thing when it comes to podcasting. Um, so, with that being said, let's go ahead and get started. We are going to, she got some questions for me. I have some questions for her. And if you have any questions for us to answer once we finish our interviews with each other, we will come to the comments and let you guys have your questions to ask us as well. So, you ready?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. All right.
Okay, who is Miss Biscuit? Let us know.
Okay, so Miss Biscuit is this person in front of you. I have always been here. However, so the name came about when I was younger. I was fat, but I was thick in all the right places, but I was fat and from like 11 on up. So people would my family members would poke my stomach and say I was the Pillsbury Dough girl. So
Oh
that
no.
stuck with me. And you know how things stick with you when you're a child. That is the name that stuck with me. And they probably don't even remember half of the time that they did it. However, it stuck with me. So that's where Miss Biscuit came from. Miss Biscuit is the character that I put on face when I come in front of everyone so that I can be the entertaining person that my friends and family get every day. So she's just her. Yes. So everyone be like, oh, so it's something sexual. No, it's really not. I am thick, but no, it's really not. Yes. Okay. So next question.
Okay, okay. Why did you start podcasting live?
Well, when I was younger, I had wanted before kids, I had wanted to actually be on TV as a news broadcaster or a TV talk show host. So I went to school for it at Kennedy King. I did not graduate. However, once I had kids and everything, I had to readjust to make sure that I could give them everything they needed. So my dream got put on the back burner. So now that I'm older, I can actually just like sit down and kind of like I think the way the world turned, it gave me the option to come back full circle and try to do what I wanted to do back then.
Okay,
Yeah, so that's the reason why I started the live. Yes.
definitely relatable.
Yes. Okay, next
Okay.
question.
What advice would you give to someone that wanted to start podcasting?
Um First I would ask them why they want to do it, and what is the reasoning. Like, is it interesting? Because no one wants to just sit. It's a lot of people that go live that think that they just are very interesting and they can go live, but people don't find you interesting because you're just going live. You have to have something to say. You have to catch someone's attention when you're going live. So I would honestly tell people that if you're trying to start a podcast, and even if you don't go live and you just want to do a podcast on just a platform like Anchor, you can actually record yourself first and see if you like hearing your own voice. And then
Right.
that'll let you know that other people want to hear your voice. And then actually make sure you write down a dialogue. Don't just go with the flow, because just because you think that something is interesting doesn't mean that everyone is. It's a lot of educated people out here that has a lot of criticism that I don't want you to be caught up in because you have something to say. So make
Right.
sure that you write down what you want to say. Make sure your dialogue is intact, and then just go with it. And please do not look at any reviews. None. Don't look at reviews at all. People get caught up in looking at reviews and then they get distracted, don't want to do it anymore. And then it's just horrible. So don't.
Yes, I
No.
agree.
Next
Okay.
question.
Who is your target audience? That's a good
Um,
one.
18 and older.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't
Okay.
don't no little kids. But I can relate to my younger generation. I do tap into my 25-year-old self a lot, because I feel like I'm 25 forever. Uh, and I like to stay around young people because it makes you feel young and it keeps you in a loop about what's going on. So
Right.
my segments, my episodes, they reach all over. They don't just reach older people.
Okay.
Yes. All right. Next question.
Okay. What is your biggest failure when it comes to podcasting, and what did you learn from it?
Biggest failure. Okay, so this might sound crazy. I haven't had like a real big failure. I have been doing this for a year. The February 28th of 2022 was my year of date that I started podcasting, and I went live.
Okay.
So I think the biggest failure I had was I had like 8 or 9 people on my first episode. And then I had like I need to like stop having so many people on the episode because it goes long because people have a lot to say.
Okay.
Because yeah, because not only that it's informational, people love to give information and people are opinionated because I don't let just blah people on my show. So if you're opinionated and interesting, then I'm gonna let you on the show. So those are the type of people that like to talk. So
Right.
I need to just stop having so many guests on one show and spread them out. That's my problem. And I've tried to do it, but then because the thing is, me being the person I am and being in businesses and promoting and doing a whole lot of things. When you're inviting people, you're supposed to invite everyone you know because half of those people aren't going to show up. So I invited like 10 people to the show, and I thought that nobody, like five, was going to show up, and all 10 showed up. So the episode was like three and a half, was like 2.5 hours long. It was
Jeez.
fun. It was lit, and everybody was stayed on the line, but it was a long show. Very low, very low. But yes, those are my 5 questions.
Okay.
I hope I answered them for everyone that wanted to chat with me, and we're going to keep this live up. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Yes, Miss Danae. Yes, I have questions for you. You are very interesting and so cute. Um,
Thank you.
okay, so your first question is, what is your target audience?
Okay. Originally, when I started my podcast, it was for millennials, I guess you can say, like the younger generation. But after starting it, my statistics show that um, more of the older generation listens to it. So my target audience will be anyone who's interested, honestly, because it's a podcast to tune into. It teaches messages for anyone of any age frame to take from it. So, hey, anyone who wants to listen, tune into it.
I agree. I listen to it, yes. And we do have statistics when it comes to our podcast. Every platform has a statistic on how many people actually listen and what's the age genre of who listens. So that's a good thing that you watch that. And then you can target the way you maneuver your shows too.
Right.
Yeah. Okay, next question. Okay,
Uh,
what do you hope to accomplish with your podcast?
well, I am trying to come for the Breakfast Club, honestly. The highest platform I can reach, honestly. I've been wanting to do journalism podcast for forever. So the greatest, highest platform I can reach to like give my message to a big audience, that's what I'm trying to go for.
I
So
know that's right. That's what I'm talking about. Come for the Breakfast Club, honey.
yes,
Okay.
yes.
'Cause
I
I'm
hope you're
definitely,
watching. I'm coming.
yes, because I'm definitely, man, Oprah, she gone, but I'm definitely finna feel that seat because I don't think nobody did. Period.
Huh.
Yes,
Period.
honey. Now Whoopi Goldberg is my idol, but I don't want to be on a panel with a whole bunch of chicks. I want Oprah spot.
There you go. There you go. You're gonna get
Yes.
it.
Okay, girl, that's what I'm talking about. I think you can too, though. Yes.
Thank you.
Okay, next question. What struggles do you face the most when it comes to your podcast?
Ooh, I like this question. Honestly, trying to get it on a bigger scale, trying to get more people to listen to it, um, to get people to feel like it's important, just trying to make it more broad. It's the biggest struggle ever, but I'm gonna keep going.
Yeah, I was just about to say that. Please keep going because literally, I don't look. Once I put it out there, I wait for people to message me and say
Okay.
something to me about it. I don't go back and look and see how many people watched.
Oh, that's probably smart.
Yes, I believe probably like once or twice I went back and looked, but I only went back and looked like at like the first or second episode when I was like on 10 or 11. Yeah,
Okay.
I didn't go right back because it's like I honestly ask people for their opinion on the people that I value. I ask them their opinion on what they feel that I should do better with my show. And whatever they say, then I take that into consideration. I don't go off of people that I don't know.
Right.
Now, the
Right.
people that I don't know, if they inbox me and say such, then I'm like, oh, okay, because you actually reached out to me. You didn't put it in the comments below. You see what
Right.
I'm saying? So it's like you have a niche to try to help out. So yeah, it's that's a good one. Don't stop. If any, please, if anybody have something to say, please, and it's therapeutic as ever too.
Right.
Yes.
I agree.
Okay. Your next question is, what is the biggest failure when it comes to podcasting, and what did you learn from it?
That's another good question. Um, I would say consistency and kind of what you said about listening to the opinions of others. Because when I first started it, I got a lot of negative opinions, so it kind of discouraged me for a little bit, and it made me less consistent. I would stop posting segments, and I feel like my podcast could have possibly been on a bigger platform if I would have just stayed consistent. So I would just say consistency is everything because it shows you're really passionate about what you're doing. So now I'm just trying to go.
So when did you start podcasting?
2019, I believe it was in June something, 2019. So a little bit now, but like I said, I haven't been as consistent as I should be.
So what was one of the negative, or what did you feel like was negative about what someone had stated that stuck with you?
When I first started, people were like, podcasting? Who's gonna listen to a podcast? Nobody listens to a podcast anymore. I'm like, what? And then
Okay.
when I did start, no one was listening. So I was like, oh,
Okay, so when you put it out there, what platform did you put it on?
um, I started with Anchor,
Okay.
and Anchor distributed it to, I believe it was on Spotify, and then it went to Apple and Google. But yeah, I didn't realize. See, sometimes I think a lot of us are like this. When we start things, we want to see things right
Immediate
away.
result. Yes.
Yes, and we
Yes.
don't want to put the work in. So I have to learn.
Oh no, I'm with you. I'm definitely that. I put out something and be like, oh, this finna hit. It's finna go viral. Go to sleep,
Right,
wake up and be like, oh, okay, so no one commented.
right. Like, okay.
But that's the reason why I don't look at reviews now though.
Yeah, that's
That's
smart.
the
It's
reason
smart to
why I
do.
don't. I will go. I make sure that that day that I do it and I put it out. I share it on everything. I tag everyone. I make sure everybody knows that it's out there, and then I just go to the next project. I don't stay on there. Yeah,
That
and then me staying closer to my younger generation, I always find out the next platform or the next social media that's coming out, and I just log on to there and put my name on there, and then I put a picture up, and I come back like months later, and I got a lot of views and a lot of people, and I was like, okay,
yes,
yeah,
that's
it's a big thing. Okay, so I'm gonna go to your next question. All right, your next question is, what do you want your audience to take away from your podcast after listening?
hmm. All the good questions. I like this one too. Um, there's a few messages there. One, because I do try to talk a lot about mental health within millennials, because I see a lot of people are struggling with it more. So I do want people listening, knowing like if there's things that you're struggling with, trying to accomplish to keep going. And I try to spread that message throughout each segment I put out. And also, not all millennials are like knuckleheads. Some of us are really trying to become successful and really trying to do our stuff out there. So I really want people to know, like, sometimes when I do my podcast, it's a little everywhere, but I'm definitely serious and passionate about what I'm doing. So I just want people to know that when they're listening.
Okay, that's what's up. Okay, so now we're gonna take some questions. I do my biggest platform is YouTube. So
Okay.
YouTube have some questions. Okay, so one question on hold on, let me make sure I go to this right way. Okay, so one question on YouTube is how often do you put out your podcast, and can you put the link up so that we can listen?
Oh, of course. I try to do every Wednesday. I try.
Okay.
Things don't happen always, but well, you know what? Every Wednesday at 6, you guys
Everyone.
can find it. Yes.
Okay, and okay, someone else, and she also asked how many episodes do you have already on your platform?
Ooh, you know what? I've never actually counted it. It's a few. It's a few, girl. Go look at it. So
Okay.
it's some up there. I got stuff to watch.
Okay. Someone asked me, okay, how are you going to shorten your pod? Okay, so me personally, I'm going to shorten mine by having only two people at a time now, because my
Uh,
informational shows are very intriguing and people are on there, but I don't want it to be too long because the interest of people kind of get distracted. Like, okay, what is too long, or so I don't
okay.
want them to lose interest. Yeah, so I'm shortening mine. Let's see if we have any more. Uh no, we don't have any more questions. Okay, well, we don't have any more questions. We
Oh
are
man.
No, it's okay though. So, is there anything that you wanted to talk about while we're on this platform?
Um.
So, what was your last podcast about?
My last podcast actually was about mental health. It actually
Mine
was.
was okay. So mine was too. Okay, so what direction did you go about when you put it out? Like, were you talking about personal experiences? Were you talking about someone else or did something pop up in your mind and said, okay, someone needs to hear this?
Uh, Pretty much all of it. Usually, I like to have a guideline in front of me because I can jump from subject to subject. But this time, I kind of winged it. Something just took over me, and I felt like I had to talk about it. So when I first entered, I talked about myself, so people know that I relate to them. And then I talked about um, a story that I read about a young mother who just committed suicide. So, and then I just talked about mental health just in general because I feel like it's people are struggling a lot these days with it. So, and people are not, they don't want to talk about it. So I wanted to open the door for unashamed conversation in regards to mental health. So, yeah. What about
Yeah.
you?
Well, mine came from the fact that well, I did the mental health episode, and I have four interesting therapists and social workers and psychiatrists on the show, and they were all great. But the reason why I did it was because I was actually having my own issues with my own problems, and it wasn't like okay, so it's this show on uh what is it, on Netflix? It's called The Maid. So
Mm,
if you are a Netflix person and you watch every episode that come on, The Maid came on, right? So no, it's not about them. I didn't have any problems about domestic abuse or anything like that. It's just the fact that it's one thing that stuck out when she said it. And what she said was when she went to this lady after she didn't have anywhere to go, she was looking for help so she can move out, right? And the lady and she had made a comment and said, well, I'm really not getting abused for real. I don't want to take it away from someone that is, right? So
mm,
my mindset is, the lady was like, what do you mean for real? Like, what do you mean that someone's getting abused for real? So my thing is, I didn't have any domestic or anything going on. Mine was that I was on the couch because my career had took a turn. So I was sitting on the couch for a long, long time. So my mind was wondering. So I was thinking like, okay, so I don't need to talk to anybody. I don't need to waste anybody's time because I'm
right.
not really in a rut. But if you think about it, me looking back on for like 40 days, I was sitting on the couch.
Mm,
You see what I'm saying? So your mind goes and your mind starts wondering, and then it's like you literally start talking. But if I didn't have the platform to actually talk it out, it wouldn't. That was my therapy. But
mm,
people that don't have that and don't have an outlet to go and talk it out or see what's going on or reach out to somebody, then who are they supposed to talk to? So that was the reason why I brought people on so that they can discuss, and that can be a actual reach out platform for them, so people could be relatable to the people I had on my show, so that we can go ahead and make sure that everybody is at least aware of somebody that they can reach out to.
right.
Yeah, and,
That's
and then
important.
it's like a stigma too about you have to have a black therapist, or a white therapist wouldn't understand you. And I had that on my show as well, talking about how another black person might not relate to you either because their background might not be the
Mm,
same as yours. So I had that on. I had to have that show, and it was for personal as well. So yeah, I do believe that a lot of people that put their podcasts out, it comes from some type of personal experience that leads you to talking about it.
right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I like that though too. I like the fact that we have people that want to do that. Um, Okay, so do you have any questions for me about anything at all?
I do. Okay, so what made you choose like your topic of podcast? What made you decide this? I know you wanted to podcast, but what made you decide like this is what I'm going to talk about? This is how I'm going to do it.
Okay, so at first, okay, so if you see behind me, 21 questions conversation starter, right? So
I see.
that is my game. I have a conversation starter, an actual conversation starter. And that was the reasoning for me getting on was because I love to ask questions. So these are the conversation starter things.
Okay.
So that was the reason for me starting my actual show was because I wanted to ask questions like a therapist, like to get because it intrigues me on how people respond to certain situations and they're your A1 or your friend or your family. Because not everybody thinks like you. So when I first
Right.
started, that was the whole concept. Just questions. Ask people questions, get them to answer their questions on live, and somebody will relate, somebody won't relate, somebody have an opinion about something. That was it. But then as I kept going, I seen more and more people were, I promise you this. I did not say to make this up. Were saying that I was like a hood therapist. So I was like, really? Like it's like therapeutic. Like people were literally writing in to me, asking me to ask people questions because when they ask a question to someone else, they don't get the same feedback. Like it's like they think they crazy or am I wrong? Like, wanting opinions. Like, okay, well, you say this and they say this. Tell me if I'm wrong. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Yeah.
So when it happened like that over the summer, I had time to see how I was going to reflect and kind of like give more to my audience when it came to like questions and things they wanted to know. So I still do the questions. It's just that I do it in the form of informational when it comes to things that people need to know.
Okay.
So
Okay.
it was it wasn't all over the place. It wasn't all over the place in the beginning. It really was just about, 21 questions conversation starter. But
Right.
but as the time went on, it started being structured toward informational. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Are you struggling to figure out which way you want to actually direct it or
Yes, in a sense, because sometimes like people like my story times better, but then some people like other things. So I'm like, should I just keep it broad or go to a certain subject? I don't know. It's kind of a
and you
yeah.
and you only go live on Wednesdays?
Yes, only on Wednesdays.
Okay. So you only go live on Wednesday because of your job, right? That's the day you off,
Right.
right?
Yeah, well, schedule, yes.
Okay. So you know that you can pre-record and just have it available, right? You don't have to
Uh,
publish everything you do.
yeah. You
Okay,
gotta have
so
the time to record it.
huh?
You have to have the time to actually record it too.
See, you're trying to be a perfectionist. You don't have to be a
Yes.
perfectionist. All you have to
Mm.
do is, let me tell you seriously, if you have a gift, if you have the gift, it will come out right. So let me tell you what you do. You write down what you want to talk about when it comes to story time, right?
Yes.
You record the story time that you're going to you on your phone. Just press record on Anchor app and just record it, right? Save it. And then you can actually go and record another one that is about like mental health, like you did mental health. So you can
Right.
tell everyone that you're going to put out 3 podcasts each Wednesday or 2 podcasts each Wednesday. One is going to be about a subject and another one is going to be about story time.
Ah,
You see what I'm
okay,
saying? And then you just
smart.
you just upload it. You don't have to have it. Whereas me personally, I just go live. But
Right.
that's just me. Like anytime I feel like on Anchor, I got a lot of episodes because I put my talk show on there as well. But as I'm going live, I already know what to say. Whereas I'm jotting down like certain notes about what I'm going to talk about, and then I just get my phone and I text it to myself. And then
Mm.
once I text it to myself, I just go straight on live and just read it out. and then press send and publish it.
Oh,
You see what I'm
okay.
saying? So it doesn't
Yeah.
take long. See, you don't try to be a perfectionist and then I just pick random music to go in the background.
See, that's another thing I've been trying to figure out. Should I have the music in the background? Should it just be me? I don't know. Like people, will people get distracted by the music? It's like I don't know.
I kind of like the music idea. It seems like it's more professional when it comes to music. It just depending on what music vibe it is. But
Okay.
I just don't like the whole because the thing is, um, as I get more into this business, I'm more of a perfectionist because I see
Right.
certain things that I did wrong, so I want to correct it. However, if I get wrapped up into that right when I'm doing it, it'll take forever. So what I do is I record it. If I go back and listen to it and I say, okay, well, I should have did that differently. The next time I record, I'll change that part only. I don't go into comments and I don't do all of that. I just do it and get over it.
Okay.
Yes.
Well, see, you got it all figured out.
Well, that comes with time though. That comes through time. Like I didn't do this is my like 18th episode. So
Okay.
and this is live. So it's like 18 episodes, me asking questions, me talking to people, me inquiring, me going to other people's lives, me watching, people that I idolize. So it's like that type of stuff like that is something I really wanted to do. So that's what I do. So it's like, and then I made time for it too. So if you're busy and that's fine. Just find out time when you can, and that's fine. Don't rush it.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So got any other questions for me? Or you good?
Oh no. I think that might be it. But I'm like,
What
I'm
is your what is
enjoying
your what is your profession in Vegas? Like what do you do?
security.
Really? Where?
Yes. I do it. I don't want to tell. There's people
No, not
watching.
no, not what location, but I'm just saying, like, is it like a public place, a club, a hotel?
It's public. It's
Oh,
public.
okay, cool. No, I was just wondering what did you do in Vegas? Because it's like, people had this whole thing about, what goes on in Vegas stays in Vegas.
Right.
They forget that it's a life outside the strip.
Yes. I do security. But it's a lot of life on the strip too, so they're not lying about that. But yeah,
Oh, okay.
no. There's
Oh,
some just
okay.
normal people just hustling and bustling out here
How
that
long
don't
have
even
you
hit the strip. Huh?
how long have you lived in Vegas?
About 6 years now, unfortunately. I'm born in San Francisco. I'm from San Francisco.
Oh, okay. Okay. What made you move to Vegas?
When I moved, I was younger. I moved
Oh,
with
okay.
my
So you moved
family.
with your family.
Yeah. And now I'm
Okay.
out here just by myself.
Oh, okay. That's what's up. Okay.
Hmm.
Well, me personally, I feel like you're doing a great job. I listened to your podcast. I do have to go. I think my phone had did something where I have to go and share a couple of them that I liked. But
Okay.
I do like it. I want you to put your link, so copy and paste your links from your anchor onto this show as well as yours so that everybody can know where to follow you, where to listen. I hope you get your followers up because I believe that you should be listened to. I
Yeah.
hope your followers listen to mine if I can help them as well, because that's what this is about. So with that being said, we are out. So this is just a couple of ladies talking about podcasts. If you want to see us again, or if you want to be a part of our show, then you can come on every Wednesday, roughly between 3 and 4 o'clock. We have to figure out the time because she's in Vegas. So with that being said, we are out. Make sure you guys tune in to Just These Ladies talking about podcasts. All
Okay.
right.
Bye.